morning. So the M of more, the first syllable, if you will, morning. Morning. It was a vocal fry. My people, my Jaron tones, what's up, y'all? I'm so glad to be back. For those who don't know me, I am Jaron M. LeGrier, voice teacher, speech trainer, professor, entrepreneur, all the wonderful things that I am blessed to be. Man, I missed y'all. For those who don't know, my computer was down. I could not do content like I wanted to. I couldn't email like I wanted to. It was just a hassle trying to get this thing together because my computer just went black one day. The screen just poof went black. Didn't know what to do. Had to take it in to Apple. Had to get it fixed. Took about 2 weeks for everything to kind of happen between the parts and the getting the parts here and the getting the parts in the thing and da-da-da-da-da. But we are back and I am so glad to be back with y'all, okay? I am so glad to be back with y'all. Now let's get into this song here. I'm a little late because my computer was down, so I couldn't do this analysis as quick as I wanted to. But I got a few people on Threads asking me to do this analysis, so I said, okay, maybe I'll do a full video. You know, so here we are. We're gonna do a full video of this cool song. It's been on repeat for several days for me, so I'm excited to talk about it, y'all. Let's get into it.
As we sip champagne, watching purple rain, bodies insane, how could you complain? Plus I know you love my personality.
No vibrato, except on personality. Personality. Right there, vibrato was there, but other than that, it was watching purple rain. They saying but can complain. You see what I'm saying? And also, you can hear her using the consonants to kind of like spur the rhythm. It's almost like she makes these syllables quick and makes them a little bit more percussive and spurred in delivery, almost like tight consonants. Sip champagne, watching purple rain. You see the syllables are kind of cut off. The consonants are kind of quick and tight, and the syllables are cut off. Watching purple rain. You see, it's like da 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 da. There's space in between some of the syllables. A lot of space in between some of them, and a little bit of space between other ones. Personality. And on personality, you hear the vowel modified slightly. It's not personality. Personality. Hey, like hey, personality. A little bit of that.
I think I wanna go back to school and have my locker full of pictures of you.
Locker, not locker. Locker. Locker full of pictures of you. So sometimes she'll add some thickness and a little bit of a sound, a little bit of like a little twangy sound. Locker instead of locker. Locker. The vowels are modified. Locker, not locker, locker, right? And then she adds that nasal snarl twang sound within moments in the verses. It's not entirely on the verse. It's just kind of moments. She'll bring it in, bring it out. And the other parts where she's not having that snarl, it's more like of a breathy sound. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. You see what I'm saying? So she's going in and out of these sounds throughout the words, depending on what she wants to emphasize and how she wants to deliver it musically.
Give me that A in biology.
A in biology, breathy. Laka was not breathy, but here, A in biology is breathy. Just like I said before, she goes in and out of those sounds, okay?
Graduating soon. It's something about that look you give me, making me feel that young love inside. That feeling you give me, I can't resist them butterflies.
You see what I did there? So everything was chesty, you know, until that last syllable. Okay, so she intentionally switched vocal fold mass vibration patterns or registers on the last syllable of each of those lines. I got the words wrong and the notes wrong, but I'm trying to show you the concept that she's doing here, right? And the word something is something. It's something that. So there's a glottal stop in something, and not something. It's something that no. It's something that na. And that glottal stop in something gives more percussiveness to the word something instead of something that no. Something that you see what I'm saying? So that sound gives a bit more of a percussive punch to the vocal line.
You need a woman holding you down whenever, wherever, however, whatever. I'll be right by your side.
Whatever, whenever, however, whatever. It's not whenever, however, whenever, whatever. No R. Whenever, whenever, however. And it's not even a neutralized vowel. It's a It's not whenever, 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 however, whatever. I'll be right by your side. You see, she added that snarl back in. I'll be right by your side.
See, I just wanna love you, boy, if you don't mind. Just kicking this little game of mine. And he said,
Let him mind. I love how she blends the consonants and the sounds of the word mind. If you don't mind. It's almost like she puts the vibrato right in the middle of the N sound, the nasal N sound. If you don't mind, the game of mine. And he said, and then on the he said, it got more breathy. And he said, yeah.
little game of mine. And he said,
kicking this little game. That the K's were hard, but the sound itself was breathy. Kicking this little game of mine, and he said, or something like that. I think I got the words wrong right there, but you hear the word kicking this da. It wasn't kicking this little game, kicking this little game of mine, and he said. It takes a lot of thought to think about how you want to go in and out of those vocal textures. Kicking this little game of mine, and he said. I may have it wrong, the order of the textures themselves, but going in and out, you really have to be mindful of how you're using your voice and be thinking about the delivery in the next part of the song, because you have to get there somehow texturally. You know, there's a lot of vocal intention here. Babe, there was hardly a second B on the second babe, and here it's all breathy. 30 in the morning, you know I'm your babe. And the vibrato's a little bit slower, more relaxed here. It's not as pushed in. It's like almost like a sigh. You might have sent me on, babe. A little bit more breezy in the vibrato here, whereas before, game of mine, and he said, there was a little bit more spur in that vibrato.
You know the sunrise for you. Give me that morning dew.
For you, morning dew, not morning dew, morning dew. Morning dew. There's not really much of an R in morning or NG. Morning dew, morning dew, morning dew. It really fits the finesse and the aesthetic of the song. Breezy, easy, chill. You don't want morning dew. That sounds so hard. Morning dew. You know? Morning, every morning. So you see the words essentially rhymed or sounded the same, but it's moaning like moaning, M-O-A-N-I-G, every morning, M-O-R-N-I-N-G. But because they phonetically changed the sound, she modified the phonetics of both words. Moaning, every morning. And then maybe like a little tiny R in the morning, maybe like a little tiny one, but it's not a big one. So essentially these words are the same. Morning, 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 morning.
You know the sunrise for you. Give me that morning dew. Morning dew.
I love that thing. Morning dew. Ooh, I butchered that, but I love that texture and that vocal line, that vocalese. But morning, before she said do, morning. So the M of more, the first syllable, if you will, morning. It was a vocal fry. Morning, or morning, whatever the note is. Then do. She flipped up on the high note, on the highest part in that vocalese there. Do. And then she added vibrato on that suspension. Do. I feel like I sound so churchy when I sing this. Do. Like Jaron, relax. I can't help it. Morning dew. I'm almost there. But you see what I'm saying? So she switches back down on the do. or somewhere in there, she switches back down into like a light chesty moment and then pushes that do with that suspension there. And I will say this, I feel like Beyonce does really well with these vocal leases. It's like she really extends like these vocal lines like melismas, if you will, you know, I mean, that's a long vocal lease, like a long run, if you will. I'll call them melismas, or like I said, a vocal lease. You know, it's not really just a run. It's like a thing, you know? Because I feel like a lot of her songs have these long runs, like Deja Vu, something like that. I forget it, but that one. And there's Soldier, I need a soldier, something like that. Like, that's another one that's long. I need a soldier, and it's here to stand up for me. Or like in Crazy in Love. But yeah, those little moments, I feel like she has like these really long vocal leases, really long vocal lines in her runs. And they're like high-key kind of hard to do. Like, you see, I'm struggling trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like she does really well with like these melismatic, like, you know, movements that have intricate notes and decisive notes. Like in Plastic Off the Sofa. That's another one, I think. Plastic Off the Sofa has all that stuff in there. You know, so yeah. Give me that morning. The give me was breathy. So on the do, she kind of switched more of a heady / really thin chesty moment, depending on where she switched there. So when she went down to the chesty moment at the end of that last do, it was still lighter because the chest voice was still thinner. It wasn't like super chesty, do, you know, it wasn't there. It's do. So it's like a really light, easy chest voice. Do. You see, you can hardly hear me switch registers because the chest voice is so light in reference to the balance between the chest and head voice, or the chest register, head register, chest dominant, head dominant, whatever word you want to use, thick, thin, whatever. So because I'm keeping the chest dominant voice lighter and thinner in closure, even though it's chesty, the seamless transition to go to head voice is there. So then the movement throughout both registers, if you will, is pretty much seamless, right? Because I'm keeping everything balanced in a way where it feels and seems seamless. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And then at the end of that do, she opened up the vowel do with the little vocal throw. Do, not do, no, do. It was a slight opening of the vowel. Do. I get so excited when I feel you touch my thigh. Touch my thighs. Baby, slow down. The BGVs here. Touch my thigh, touch my thigh, something like that. She stayed on the first part of the diphthong for most of that thigh, because the word is thigh, right? But she said touch my thigh, something like that, and she kind of migrated to the second part of the diphthong at the end of the word. Touch my thigh, something like that, something like that. And then on ride, she changed the vowel again, however she did it. A little more, a little aspirate onset instead of a little more, a little morning dew. There's a river inside that flows from love. You can tap in, but don't tap out. She's really playing with the runs in harmony and modifying the words to fit the runs they're in. You know, it's almost like she's just playing around with the harmony and just kind of stacking stuff organically. It sounds like it. You know, I don't know how the process was. I couldn't tell you. But it sounds so, like, playful. It's something about that look you give me, making me feel that young love inside.
feeling you give me, I can't resist them butterflies.
I feel like here, this part is a little bit more thicker than before. I feel like before was slightly lighter. I feel like now it's a little bit more drive in the voice. It's a little bit more thicker in sound generally. There's still that flip to the breathy head voice on inside there, but I feel like there's just a little bit more drive in the voice here than the first time she did this bridge, if you will, or chorus.
You need a woman holding you down whenever, wherever, however, whatever, I'll be right by your side.
Even there, and whatever, however, whatever, more drive, more thickness, but side got immediately breathy. By your side.
See, I just wanna love you, boy, if you don't mind, just kicking this little game of mine. And he said, don't, get on, get on, get on, get on, don't, get on, get on, get on, get on, don't, get on, get on, get on, get on, kicking this little game of mine. And he said, you're sexy in the morning, you know you turn me on, you know the sunrise for you.
And you notice the consonants are very chill. You know the sunrise for you. It isn't like, you know the sunrise for you. You know, it's, you know the sunrise for you. Give me that morning dew. Very relaxed, very chill consonants, okay? It fits the finesse of the song, the very breezy kind of feel of the song. You know, it's not hard, it's breezy and chill. So the consonants are breezy and chill. I notice there are some open chords here, like octaves in the background vocals. It makes the chords very open and, you know, kind of fuller and wider in sound because you hear like a top octave and a bottom octave in the background vocals.
You know the sunrise for you. Give me that morning dew. Morning dew.
I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed watching it, breaking it down with y'all just a little bit. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video.